Welcome to Cinema Wellman. I'm your host, David, and today we're going to be talking about movie music. We're not going to be looking at movie scores today, but rather individual songs and their use in movies. Some of them are actually used over and over and over and over. Some songs are now forever matched with a specific scene from a movie. You can never hear that song again without thinking of the scene that it accompanied. Two such examples of that are, for me, American Girl by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in Silence of the Lambs, and Stuck in the Middle with You by Stealers Wheel in Reservoir Dogs. If you've seen either of those films, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In Silence of the Lambs, Petty's poppy upbeat tune is played as Buffalo Bill lures one of his victims into his van. Even though the act being carried out is extremely sinister, the positive note of the song does not seem to fit, yet it fits perfectly. She was an American Girl. Reservoir Dogs may be one of the wettest films in movie history. Poor Tim Roth was absolutely drenched in blood for a majority of that film. Stealers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You, is played over a scene in which Mr. Blonde, played by Michael Madsen, tortures a captured police officer. This scene is Madsen slices off the officer's ear with a straight razor before dousing him with gasoline. What makes this so disturbing and terrifying is how gleefully Madsen dances around with the razor while menacing his victim as the music plays. You'll never hear that song again without seeing those images in your mind. I've talked about movie music more than a few times here, and I've mentioned its importance. This is very expensive business, so directors need to be extremely careful about which songs are included. Too many popular songs used in a film can balloon a budget in a heartbeat. Today we're going to look at 10 songs that have appeared in 13 or more films each. That's a lot of exposure, which may have you at the movie saying to yourself, this song again? Wasn't this in? Yes, it was. It is not your imagination. I'm not going to mention every film each song has appeared in, but I'll throw out 5 each to give you an idea of the types of films choosing to feature that particular song. I'm sure you're going to hear about a song today that you remember hearing in one of these movies at some point or another. I won't be playing any of these songs for you since I cannot afford to do that in any sense of the imagination. As I mentioned, this is some expensive business we are talking about. I won't be including Happy Birthday, which has been used in a ton of films. I really don't consider that part of this discussion. I found all this information on a website called what-song.com. All you need to do is enter a song to see which movies and television shows have featured it over the years. I found a couple of redundancies in their stats, but I fixed those when I spotted them for the purposes of this episode. So the information I'm giving you is corrected in some instances. Even though these songs have been used many times, I recently heard one of those very recently again when I screened Irish Wish starring Lindsay Lohan. Don't ask me why I did that. We will begin with songs that have appeared in 13 different movies. Song by The Heavy from 2009, How You Like Me Now. Horrible Bosses 2, Ride Along, The Transporter Refueled, Men in Black International. How You Like Me Now, I guess in a bunch of sequels. I find it odd when a song shows up in more than one film in a series, unless it's some kind of theme song or something like that. Did they get some kind of deal on using a song in multiple films? A bundle, perhaps? Next, also 13 film appearances from 1978. Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. Heard in The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Coyote Ugly, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Meet the Spartans, and Transformers Dark of the Moon. I remember enjoying the song back in 1978 and hoping that someday someone would create a set of toys that would someday be made into a series of terrible movies based on those toys so this song could be included. That's perfect fit. Next, 1979's Rupert Holmes' Escape, also known as the Pina Colada song 14 film appearances, including Mars Attacks, Grown Ups, Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool 2. This is an absolutely terrible song, so terrible and universally hated that you'd think filmmakers would avoid using it in their films. You'd be wrong in that thinking, since it's been used in 14 films and counting. Then again, I think Guardians of the Galaxy series ended up using every song ever written and recorded at some point along the way. Next, also 14 film appearances from 1989, Young MC's Bust a Move. Dude, Where's My Car? 17 again, Pitch Perfect, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and It. It was great fun looking at the list of films connected with each of these songs. Since I was already familiar with all the songs, I tried to imagine what type of film would include it. Bust a Move. How would that song best be used? Silly comedy, body-switching comedy, musical comedy, romantic comedy, and Stephen King's It. Go figure. Next, also 14 film appearances, Earth, Wind, and Fire's 1978 hit, September. Used in, heard in, Night at the Museum, Trolls, Barbershop, The Next Cut, Ma, and Irish Wish. Not only a favorite of every wedding since 1978, September has been a favorite of movie directors for quite a while as well. I had already been preparing this episode and had the songs selected when I watched Irish Wish and heard September again. I guess filmmakers don't use what-song.com as often as I do. Next, heard in 17 different films, Survivor's 1982 anthem, Eye of the Tiger, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Big Fat Liar 1, Night at the Museum, Angry Birds Movie 2. The ultimate pump you up anthem was not part of Rocky or Rocky 2. I honestly would have lost that bet. I must have mistaken it for that other pump you up anthem that was in Rocky and Rocky 2. Not only has this song been featured in 17 movies and counting, it also had its moment in a popular insurance ad. Doesn't make it good. Next up is a song by an artist with a history of financial trouble so extensive, it's surprising this song isn't in every movie in order to pay off his debts. 18 films and counting, MC Hammer's 1990 hit, You Can't Touch This. Heard in Hot Shots, Tropic Thunder, Grown Ups 2, Transformers Age of Extinction, Transformers The Last Night. Is it possible that they just continue to make these awful Transformer movies just so they can keep using You Can't Touch This? Do you know how many Transformers movies there are? I'll give you a moment. 8. The toy debuted in 1984. So in 41 years, we've had 8 movies based on this toy and 0 movies based on Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Next, appearing in 18 films, 1973's Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, Bridget Jones' Baby, and the Garfield movie. It figures that this groovy, sexy makeout song was featured in an Austin Powers movie, a terrible sex farce, 2/3 of the Bridget Jones franchise, and the Garfield movie. Seriously. I don't want to know what that scene is, and I'm hoping it's not an American Pie homage featuring Garfield and lasagna. Next, 18 film appearances for the 1986 song Push It by Salt and Pepper. Heard in 10 Things I Hate About You, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Project X, Booksmart, and Father of the Bride. First of all, great song. This is a song that I could see featured in any movie. I actually think that would be a great set of clips inserting Push It into all the great films in history. Citizen Kane, Casablanca, The Wizard of Oz. Next, 19 film appearances for 1969's Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Wayne's World 2, Apollo 13, Contact, Ocean's 11, and Sunshine Cleaning. This song has been used in almost 20 movies, yet it may not be recognizable by the title alone. All you need to do is hear the first few notes and you'll be able to place it without a doubt. Thank you, Norman Greenbaum, for the current number one song used in films over the years. I'm sure number 20 is right around the corner. Well, that is a wrap for our soundtrack saturation episode. I'm sure it's not the last we've heard of these songs in the movies. Hollywood does love to repeat itself, after all. We hope you join us next time as we present something that I would tease now if I had any idea what I was doing. Hopefully see you then, and until then, take care.